BLUF Gaming here with a 6 belt to 2 belt balancer for Factorio 0.15x. Here's your design. It can be made this way or mirrored the other direction, and it will provide a balanced load to the outgoing 2 belts regardless of the amount of goods you're putting in on the 6 incoming belts. This is very useful for unloading trains where 6 inserters can reach each car, and it only has one space outside of the 6 width, so you can have multiple of these adjacent to one another. So that's your bottom line up front. If you'd like to see it built from the ground up and learn exactly how it works, just watch the rest of the video. Okay, let's build this from the ground up and see how it works. We're going to start with 6 incoming lanes, and then just like with most splitters, we're going to immediately cap all of them off. The right 4 splitters will combine using another splitter, and then we're going to split that with 2 like so, giving us our 2 outgoing lanes here. These 2 on the right will just use the 1 lane to go into this splitter, and we'll send its output to the other side where it can join over here. Finally, as is the case with many balancers, all the excess needs to go into a recycling belt, which usually ends up being a loop. So what's happening? Well, let's start with the bulk of it. We have 4 lanes coming in that all get reduced to 2, mixed together well, so these 2 belts will have 2/3 of all of the input, and it will be well mixed. Half of it gets evenly distributed to the output lanes, and the other half goes into the recycler. Before we cover the recycler, let's look at the left 2 lanes that we haven't covered yet. These 2 belts send their contents into this splitter. Half goes to the recycler, which we'll cover in a second, and the other half comes over here and is distributed to these 2 lanes. It's important to note that after these lanes leave this splitter, they have 1 splitter between them and the outgoing lane. The same is true for these 2. We have 1 splitter between them and the outgoing lane. Also, half of both of these splitters always goes to the recycler. So every lane or every belt is being treated equally. The recycler continues having all that comes through it and sending it to both of the outgoing lanes, giving us a balanced load on both ends. I've gotten a load of items here ready so we can see this in action. Just like with all of our balancers, if you have different items in the left and the right lanes of each belt, that segregation will be maintained as you go out. It takes the recycler a little bit to get done with its work, but when it does, you see we have an even distribution out here. Whenever you have dead-end lanes like this, it's normal to see a couple of items hanging on. But each of these splitters does have an exit belt, so you don't have to worry about that causing any backups. This design is very useful for train depots where you have 6 inserters unloading a train that you need to reduce down to 2 lanes so that you can process it or do whatever else it is you need to do with that item. Train cars have 1 space between them where it's free to walk or place something else like an electric pole, and these only exceed 6 wide right here, and it's just the 2 belts, so you can have these adjacent multiple times to unload multiple train cars. That's all for now, engineers. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful, and subscribe if you'd like to see the other videos I have coming. This has been your bottom line up front. See you next time.